Hi, my name is Neil Bonga, and welcome back to Programming Done Right. So today we're going to be making a choose-your-own-adventure game with Java. And Java is a much more challenging programming language than Python, and that's what makes it so much more exciting. So it is going to be kind of challenging, but I think you guys will be able to get it because honestly, it's not too hard to make something like this and it's pretty basic. So let's just get right into the code. So you're going to need no imports for this, so that's a good thing. And let's create a new file. I'm using an editor called NetBeans for my Java, but you can use whatever you want. Anything that works with Java. One shout out to reply.it. So basically what this is, it's like, I'll put a link in the description, but basically what you can do with it, it's like an online editor where you can use all the languages like ever made. So it's pretty nice there because if you don't want to download Java and you just want to get right into the code, you can make an account and it doesn't really take that long. So that's one of the big benefits, but I like to have a downloaded editor. So we're first going to make a new file. So I have Learning Java 1. This is my project. I'm going to make a new file. Choose your own adventure T for tutorial. Okay. Now that we have our Java file here, we're going to write public static void main string args. So basically what this is where we write our code. It's kind of like just like a little place where we have to write our code instead of writing it above, or else we won't be able to do print statements and like honestly a lot of things. So we need to write it in that public static void main. Okay, now let's get into the actual code. So we're going to have to take user input. So we have to identify a variable to take user input. This is scanner. Scanner input equals new scanner system.in. Okay, this should be good, except you're going to get two errors right here. That's because you have to write import java.util.scanner. This is very important because you don't have to download it. This comes with Python, but you won't be able to use scanner unless you import java.util.scanner, and look, the error is away. So now you have to figure out a storyline. Now this is completely your choice. I'm probably just gonna go with a pretty basic one, like maybe like a spy story. I don't know. So what agency, so this is how you print, okay, or you like write lines. What agency would you like to work for? Comma, FBI for 1 and CIA for 2. So the reason that I have 1 and 2 here is because they're going to enter 1 if they want to go to FBI and 2 for CIA. Now you might be thinking, why can't they just write FBI or CIA? The reason is because they can get an error for this, and it just makes it harder on our part because now they could get spelling mistakes and a lot of things could happen. So it's much easier to play the numbers game and just do something with numbers. So I can write if, actually first we have to make a variable and like actually get a user input. So what we have to first write is, so agent C, we're just going to do agent equals, int agent, because we're doing an integer, sorry. Int agent equals input dot next int. We have to write the data type at the end. So this means that now whatever value they put in there will be stored in the variable agent. So now we have to write a couple of if statements, which are basically like in real life. If this happens, then we have to do this. So we're going to write if agent equals 1. So that means if agent is 1, then what we're going to do is system.out.println. Okay, that's how you print a line. Print line, ln. And then we're going to write, congrats. You've been accepted into the FBI. And then we're going to write FBI, and then your first mission. Is to to disable bombs. Honestly, I'm making a storyline on the spot, but honestly, you could do whatever storyline you want. So I'm gonna say your first mission is to rescue a prisoner. Okay, this is a basic storyline. I would recommend that you go way more in detail, but I just want this video not to be too long. I'm just going to go over all the concepts, and then you can create your own storyline accordingly. So now I'm going to write elif, which means if this doesn't happen, but this does, then do this thing. So we're going to write elif. This is very important. So it's kind of like if. It's like another if statement. Sorry, I got a little confused with the Python. It's else if agent equals 2. Now we're gonna have these curly braces, and these are very important. This is how Java runs. If you watch my Python tutorial, you might know that Python uses indentation. Java doesn't. Java uses these curly braces. Okay, let's get right into it. System.out.println. We can literally just copy and paste the same line, but my story is very basic, and it's just like not very good, but it's whatever, because I hope that if you guys make really nice storylines or whatever, I actually recommend reply.it for this reason. You can send your file in the comments if you have a error, right? So I can look at the file and I can give you feedback, and I can show you what you did wrong or what's happening. Okay, so now that we have this, if I enter 1, it's gonna say this, and if I enter 2, let's just run it and test it. So let's wait. Okay, there it is. What agency? I'm more of an FBI kind of guy. Congrats, you've been accepted in the FBI. Perfect. So this works. Now what should we do? Well, now we have to do something else. We have to have more if statements inside the if statements, except there's one last thing we have to do. What if they enter 3? Nothing's gonna happen. That's why we have to have an else block, which means if none of these conditions are true, then we're basically gonna do this. So, So if none of these statements are true, we're gonna write .println. Sorry, you were not accepted into either program. This makes it really nice so that basically even if they are trying to joke around or whatever, if they just want to have an error, this makes it so that an error doesn't appear and your program seems more professional. So that's the great thing about having an else statement, even if it's not really necessary. Okay, congrats. Your first mission is to rescue a prisoner. Now we're gonna ask, do you accept this mission, right? System.out.println. So we're just gonna have one line of space, just because, you know, I think that it's nice to have a little bit of breathing room. I think this is something a lot of coders forget to do, is to add a little bit of breathing room. It gets a lot of text at once, and nobody wants to read that much. That's why it's really nice for the eyes if you can put a space in there. Okay, so we're gonna say, do you accept this mission? 1, so we're gonna say yes, 1, and then we're gonna say no, and we can just say any other number. So if they type any other number, then they're gonna not go to the mission. So we can write if Oh, first we have to make a variable, so we have to say accept equals int. And you guys should always name your variables really nicely, or else you forget what your variable names were. When I started programming, I made my variable names like soccer players, and it was a really bad mistake, and I couldn't remember anything I was writing. So you can see, except, that's something that actually makes sense with the given situation. So input.next int. Oh. Okay, so now that that's all good, now we just have to do a couple of if statements. If accept equals 1, c dot out dot println. Great job. You succeeded. You got promoted. You got promoted because you accomplished the mission. Okay? So now, again, this isn't hard at all because now it's really easy. This is very, very basic because, you know, it's not much. But for me, I'm just trying to, what I try to do is, oh, sorry, there's not supposed to be a parentheses. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not make the video too long because the last video was kind of long, and I think that it's better if I just teach you guys the concept so you guys can make your own version. Okay, so now I'm just going to write else. And sorry, not sorry. They didn't succeed. They don't deserve a sorry. They chose not to do this. So you failed. Oh, you failed. You were fired. You were fired. Okay, and then now what we can do is we can literally just copy and paste this line, this whole thing, because honestly, it's not that hard. Because, you know, it's just like, whatever, because it's the same storyline. This doesn't really matter. But see, if I were to go much more in depth, what would happen is I would write way more. And that's the thing, you're gonna have to write a lot, but I think it's really nice and it's not very hard. So the only things you really have to learn to make this is user input, print statements, if-else statements, and that's really it. So congrats, you built your own choose your adventure game. Now, it isn't the most advanced game in the world, but it also is a pretty nice one that you can play with your friends and your family. You know those books where you turn to the right according page? It's kind of like that. And I think that your choose your adventure games can be really, really intricate. I know people who've made really, really intricate versions of this, and they've done really, really well. Now, for the sake of the video, again, I'm not going to make this very, very long and intricate. I might do it and put it in the comments, or I might put a GitHub file or a Google Doc file like I did last time. But I don't think I'm going to do it right now. But, you know, I think that you guys should make it as intricate as you want, as nice as you want. Okay, thank you. I think I'm going to stop now. Bye.